So this is my review for the SoundPEATS Clip 1 earbuds. Now I've had some real time using these earbuds, both for calls and music. And these earbuds does one of those things better than any other earbuds I've ever used in my life. Which one of those things it does better though? That is the conversation we're about to have. Let's start with the price because that's always the first question. Right now, these are sitting at around $100 Canadian. And at that price, I think I expected a little bit more. I think for around $50, you can get something that sounds a little bit better from companies like SoundPEATS, Monster, or the likes. To be fair, those are in-ear earbuds, and because these are clip style, they're fundamentally different in how they're ultimately going to sound. There's the advantage of those ones sealing into your ear, and these ones don't seal just quite as much. But the benefit is that these are kind of a lot more secure in your ear because of the loop style, and they don't hurt because they're not putting so much pressure in the internal parts of your ear. So you're going to have that trade-off. However, I still think the audio could have been better on these. They're not horrible, but there's room for improvement, let me put it that way. Where it may be lacking a little bit in the audio quality, it more than makes up for this when it comes to calls. Of all of the earbuds I've tested, SoundPEATS, Monster, Raycons, Apple AirPod Pros, whatever you can think of, none of them have come close to these ones when it comes to call quality. I've never had a situation where I was speaking to someone and they did not understand or they were struggling to hear me using these earbuds. If you're someone who takes a lot of calls, maybe you're working from home and you just want to put some earbuds in your ear that you can speak, you can hear, and there's not going to be any issues, this is my number one recommendation when it comes to that type of setup. But I'll speak a little bit more about that later on. But let's look at what you actually get in the box. When it comes to the unboxing of these earbuds, they're fairly straightforward. You have the earbuds themselves, a charging case, a cable, and basic documentation. They've gone with the glossy type finish. It's not the kind that's going to grab a lot of fingerprints, which is something I do appreciate. So for the most part, this thing is always going to look clean. When it comes to build quality overall, I think these are a very solid build. It's also quite easy to open the case and it has a nice satisfying thunk. And as for the earbuds themselves, you can see that these are just clip-on styles. The top part goes into your ear and the lower part would hang out. It's a little bit magnetic, so when you throw them in, they just go in as they should. That's pretty good. Now, one interesting thing I've not really seen with other earbuds, you don't have to wonder whether you're using the left ear or the right ear. Just take them and put them in and it'll automatically adjust. That's a really nice feature. Speaking of features as well, this comes with Bluetooth 5.3. So generally the connection is stable. However, I think I've used earbuds that had better range when it came to holding a connection. So for context, this is my workstation. This is where I use the earbuds most of the time. If I go as far as like the pantry, which I would say give or take is around 7 to 8 meters from here, it would disconnect. And I'm using this on an M5 Pro MacBook Pro, which I know for a fact has a better Bluetooth connectivity compared to the base M5 MacBook Pro. I've used other earbuds that I've been able to go into another room and I'll still maintain a connection. When it's connected, it's a stable connection, but the range might not be as wide as you'd expect. And now for arguably the most important reason someone will get these earbuds, the sound quality. I think it's okay. It's not terrible, but it's not outstanding as well. I wouldn't call it average sounding, to be fair. It's somewhere in between average sounding and great. If I were to further describe the sound signature, I would say it's more flat and it kind of dovetails on the bass side of things. The good thing is that it does come with an app and allows you features like LDAC, which is like its lossless sound profile, and it has things like Dolby Atmos, and it has a custom equalizer. There are different presets there. You can set your own preset as well, which is great. I like that. You can definitely improve the sound to your taste, but all of these things did not really seem to alleviate the main issue with just how they sound. In my opinion, the only settings that are worth going ahead to work with are the equalizer settings, the Dolby Atmos, the LDAC, all that stuff. It did not elevate the listening experience. They all sounded a little bit gimmicky. Some even made the sound way worse. I mean, play around with it and see which one works better for you, but for me, the only useful thing with the app in there was the equalizer. Now, another reason why you might be getting these earbuds specifically is because of the comfort, and you don't want to deal with in-ear earbuds that constantly keep falling off. Though to be fair, some of them are pretty good now when they don't come off, but I don't think they're going to be as secure as these just because of how they're shaped. Also, it's quite comfortable. I can say confidently now that compared to most of the other earbuds I've used, I can use these for hours on end and not have any ear strain or ear pain. But overall, when it comes to the ergonomics of these earbuds, very, very comfortable to use. And now for the main reason I really recommend these earbuds is the microphone quality. Like I said earlier in this video, it's not just that it's clear, because again, some of these earbuds, you notice that, okay, it's clear, but it's not as loud to a point where other people can hear you. In fact, a lot of times you might need to tone this down, which is not something you would expect from these types of earbuds. I've used this in Zoom meetings, on calls, I don't have any issues. And I put some audio samples just so that you can get a sense for yourself what the microphone sounds like. Okay, so this is an audio sample test of what the microphones on the SoundPEATS Clip ones sound like. These are perfectly fine for video calls, normal phone calls, and they do a fairly decent job with reducing noise in the background. Right now, I unfortunately can't showcase that to you because I have a baby who is sleeping. If I try to simulate any noise, this will probably be the last video I'll ever do. So that being said, you just have to take my word for it. For context, when I take on client calls, I don't hear a baby crying in the background, and the baby's just literally next door in the other room. So I think that's a fairly good indication that it does a good job in reducing noise. What do you guys think? I think it's pretty good. Now, as I round up this review, there is one thing I wanted to point out with these earbuds that might not be obvious to a lot of people, so I'm saying it now. So for most earbuds, the way they work, you would typically take the earbuds out of the case and then they'll become discoverable. You can connect to whatever device, whether it's your phone or laptop, whatever it is. These work a little bit differently. If you want to connect to these, what you do is that there's a button at the back. You push and hold that button until the front light starts to flash. You might not see it right now, but if I open it, yeah. So that light will start to blink. Now, when it's blinking, you keep the case open like this with the earbuds inside. That's when you connect to the earbuds. It's a little bit different, but if you don't know this, you might be confused and be wondering why they're not connected or stuff like that. And while we're speaking about that, we might also talk a little bit about the battery life. Now, with these, from my experience, I want to place them at around 8 hours. I work from home, and the nature of my job, I'm always talking with clients through different Zoom meetings. So this will take me through the entire day. What I do to optimize for a full shift is whenever I'm not using it, I just put them in the case and close it. And that way it'll just last me for a long time. But if I'm using it consistently, never putting it back in the case, I just have it in my ears all day, it will last for around 7 to 8 hours. Again, not the greatest battery life, but it's not bad by any means. So at the end of the day, what's my final verdict for these earbuds? Overall, I think that they're good. For $100, in terms of the sound quality, I might look elsewhere. But if you're using this mostly for meetings, calls, like I said, if that stuff is important to you, I don't think you can do better than these. Just don't expect the greatest sound quality out the box. You will need to tweak it a little bit to get it sounding to how you'd like. And I think some of the other features like LDAC, like the lossless mode and all of that, it didn't live up to what I expected it to sound like. Hopefully this video was helpful for you in making a purchasing decision. And until the next one, stay safe and have a great time.